That power is getting ready to be put back in us. For those who believe and have ears, that power that Yahushua had on the earth, we're going to get that and more. And we're going to get those heavenly bodies, man. See, Yahushua died on the cross and went through all that he went through so he can go back on the right-hand side and be glorified. We're fighting and making our bodies a living sacrifice so that we can eventually be back glorified with him as well as we were before the foundation of the earth.
The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of God. And if children, then heirs, heirs of God, and joint heirs with God. If so be that we suffer with him, that we may be also glorified together. For I reckon that the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory which shall be revealed in us. For the earnest expectation of the creature waiteth for the manifestation of the sons of God. For the creature was made subject to vanity, not willingly, but by reason of him who hath subjected the same, in hope, because the creature itself also shall be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of God. For we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. And not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body.
Eternal life. That's what's promised to the elect. Right? All Israel. But it starts with the elect. And that's how the earth will be governed by immortals. Perfect angelic forces who are going to come down and rule on earth. Extraterrestrial bodies. Will be able to do things that humans do, but in heavenly bodies. Like eating, drinking. Did not Yahushua say he's going to drink wine with us in the kingdom? Well, how do you drink wine with a spiritual body? Well, we're going to have out of this world capabilities in those new bodies.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples for us younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful they got there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Al Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bahashem Al Shai. All right, and what I want to get into today, okay, is dealing with how, the devils, are getting ready to weaponize food, okay, and not, just for, the SNAP, and EBT recipients, okay, but for everyone, all right, and this devil, his wicked agenda, he does things in phases, what he does to one, all right, group of people, all right, well, he's getting ready to do to everyone, just as, all right, he created a boogeyman, okay, in the Middle East, calling, all right, everyone over there, extremists, okay, to now, he pushes propaganda, and he made it seem like their region, okay, was the problem of the earth, and the people that it produced was the problem over there in what they call the Middle East. Okay, not that he's over there terrorizing them, okay, and stealing either resources from them and keeping up chaos amongst them. Okay, and he was able to dehumanize, all right, those people over there he's able to do a genocide, all right, and the earth goes on as usual, business as usual. It's still happening in the planet Earth while this man is able to do a genocide on the people because of decades of propaganda. Okay? So now, all right, he's done decades of propaganda with Jake. Okay? And has dehumanized Jake and has desensitized people to what happened to Jake. Now he's getting ready, all right, to do okay a genocide in the states. Okay, what the scripture called Jacob trouble. You see, so just bringing that out because how this devil does one group of people is eventually how he wants to do everybody. All right, because this is a global world order that this man, all right, wants to establish, all right, through digital tyranny. Okay, so what he's doing, with the food stamps, okay, pretty much holding people hostage. You see, and we can go back and forth about, the people that shouldn't be on it or whatever. Okay, that is what it is. That's their situation. Okay, however that go. But what this devil is doing in the scope of things, the bigger scope of things, okay, this devil, all right, is getting ready to weaponize the food for everyone. Okay, so when you go here, let's get a few precepts, and then I got a video on the beloved brother Eliasha Wamba. Went into this video, so I went to that channel, all right, and looked at it myself, the whole video. So we'll play it, and I got another one to link with it just to show you where these devils are at with it. Okay, this is St. John 10 and 10. It said the thief's purpose, okay, and this is Yahweh Shah speaking. Okay. Matter of fact, let me get this in the KJV. All right, this is the book of St. John, chapter 10. Okay, in verse 10, it said, the thief cometh not, but for to steal and kill and destroy. And the thief is Esau. All right, and his only agenda is to kill, steal, and destroy. Even when he's giving you something, he's giving you something to destroy yourself. Okay, he gave you feminism. Okay, sold it as an upgrade to destroy yourself. He gave nigga culture and glorified it. All right, gave few niggas some money. Okay, but what happened? It was to your own destruction. You see, everything this man gives you, okay, is to steal something away from you. All right, to kill you and destroy you. Okay, this man is not giving anything out of the goodness of his heart. Everything that he gives is attached to him stealing something from you. Okay, killing you or destroying you, man. Okay, because he'll give you, all right, assistance and destroy the family structure. Okay, he'll give niggas record deals, okay, to destroy the minds of the masses of the tribes. You see? So even if he's not directly coming and taking from you, like he take resources from these other countries and particular things, but with the tribe, especially here in the States, we don't have resources. All right. So he steals, your ability to be a family. Okay. He destroys the thinking, okay, of a whole culture, of a whole people. You see? So this devil, all right, operates on another level when it comes, to the tribes. Okay, when it comes to steal, kill, and destroy, to the point he has our people in self-destruct mode, and it's a glorified culture. Okay, to be a junkie, to be a serial killer against your own people. Okay, is to be, to bring children into, all right, a structure of failure, through single motherhood. Okay, but there's all those things are glorified, but it only destroys. Okay, it said, I am come that they might have life, that they may have it more abundant. That's Yahweh Shah, man. And Yahweh Shah finna give us everything back. Yahweh Shah is getting ready to give us everything back, man, and more. You see, I can't wait for abundance, man, to where we just have children, not even think about. Ain't gonna be no trying to budget a child into. Nah, man, we just gonna be. Okay, you don't have to budget, for another wife. No, we just gonna be. Okay, we just gonna have abundance. Okay, you see, well, this devil is the exact opposite, man, and this is why, we just, await the second coming of Yahweh. That's our expectation, not on, America. Okay, being healed. Not trying to fix this system, not trying to network and enterprise and on this side. Nah, man, we do what we do. We make moves if we can. We put little plays together here and there. If we can, but put leaning into anything on this side. Nah, man, it's over. We waiting for what's next, man. We got our spirit is on. All right, next. Okay, it's time to hit the next button. You see, on this whole kingdom. So let's let's go from there. All right, and I want to get this video, and we'll come back. All right, but let's go here. In this video, all right, on the thumbnail, it's 14 minutes and 40 seconds, man, because all this is leading, okay, to all right, a real righteous, all right, a new righteous world order. All this catastrophe that the devil has going on and all these events and he's all over the place. But at the end of the day, is leading to a new righteous world government under Yahweh Shai, okay, and 12,000, all right, men from each tribe of Israel ruling the earth in righteousness, man. Okay, so let's play this real quick.
To change what S on your dinner plate? While everyone was distracted by election chaos and global conflicts, something far more insidious has been taking shape: the complete corporate takeover of our food system. I'm going to show you something that should disturb every single American who values their freedom to choose what they eat. Let me break this down for you. What we're witnessing isn't just a shift in food trends. It's a calculated power grab by financial elites and tech billionaires who have realized something crucial. Whoever controls the food supply controls everything. In 2020, while most Americans were locked down in their homes, Bill Gates quietly became the largest private farmland owner in the United States. Think about that for a second. The tech billionaire who wants to dim the sun and put vaccines in everything now owns over 269,000 acres of American farmland. But it gets worse. Gates isn't just buying land. He's also the primary investor in companies like Beyond Meat and Impossible Foods. The same man buying up real farms is simultaneously funding the synthetic meat industry that could put traditional farmers out of business. This isn't coincidence, folks. This is strategy. But here's where things get really interesting. In 2019, a company called Indigo Agriculture launched what they called the Terraton Initiative, the world's first large-scale carbon farming marketplace. Sounds environmentally friendly, right? Let me explain what's really happening here. These carbon credit systems require farmers to completely change how they farm, using proprietary technology to measure and report their carbon sequestration. The technology and verification systems are owned by you, guessed it, the same corporate interests pushing synthetic foods. And who is backing these carbon farming initiatives? BlackRock and Vanguard, the world's largest asset management firms that together control over $15 trillion. These aren't just random investments. They recreating an entirely new financial.
And when you hear about BlackRock, all right, this investing firm, well, there's nothing but, all right, a tool, okay, of the banking family, mainly the Rothschilds. They use BlackRock to obtain assets, okay, and you just think, BlackRock and Larry Finch, all right, the CEO, is the top of the chain. No, they're just, okay, a tool, an arm, within this banking cartel, these devils, all right, owning all the assets, okay, of the earth, okay, and now they want to digitalize foods, just to, simplify what she's going into. They go into all the carbon and this and that. Like, this nigga want to get to the point to where every bite you take, he can look at on the screen, This nigga here is tripping. You see? This nigga is tripping. An absolute madman in rulership, man. Okay? Let's let it play some more. All right? And they keep you distracted, everybody responding to how Eve is, acting. And you see, that's not, that's not a big deal. Eve response, all right? Eve ain't got no goddamn power. Okay? Eve finna starve, goddamn. Okay? Her and them little nigga babies, they finna starve. They don't have no goddamn power. Okay? But that ain't the real play. You see, but it's a perfect distraction. All right. While they really going for the real play, which is to completely control, okay, access to food. Your access to food, all right, will be completely controlled by them. Okay, the social credit score is going to play a factor in the food that you have access to. Okay, nigga, you didn't have steak behavior this week. Okay, you had a cup of noodles behavior. Your behavior mirrors you a cup of noodles. Okay, synthetic noodles at that. Okay, this nigga is absolutely crazy, man. All right, and all he wants to do is continue to just take whatever piece of sovereignty you got left, whatever piece of privacy you got left. Okay, whatever anything that he looks at as you own it, he wants it. Your thoughts, okay, your family, whatever you can think of, he wants it. Okay.
System based on controlling how food is produced. Now, watch how this connects. In January 2021, the World Economic Forum launched its Great Reset initiative with a specific focus on transforming global food systems. Their vision? A world where traditional animal agriculture is drastically reduced, replaced by lab-grown proteins, and all farming is digitally monitored for climate compliance. Pay attention to this part. The same financial institutions that own shares in these synthetic food companies are simultaneously creating the regulatory framework that will make traditional farming increasingly difficult. They were playing both sides. By 2023, we've seen the rollout of food as software where companies like Solar Foods, backed by Surprise, the same venture capital firms connected to Gates, can literally create protein from air using proprietary fermentation technology. They've patented food itself. This isn't just about business competition. This is about control. When your food comes from patented technology instead of nature, whoever owns those patents decides who eats. When farming requires expensive carbon monitoring equipment and compliance with corporate design sustainability metrics, who gets pushed out? The independent farmer. Let us dive deeper into exactly how this system works, because what I'm about to show you reveals the true scale of what they're rebuilding. First, we need to understand the concept of food as software. This isn't just marketing language. It's a fundamental reimagining of what food is. Traditional agriculture relies on natural processes refined over thousands of years. Seeds are planted, animals are raised, harvests come in, but the new paradigm treats food like computer code, something that can be programmed, patented, and completely controlled by its creators. Take Impossible Foods, for example. Their key innovation isn't just plant-based meat, it's their proprietary molecule called heme that they've patented. They don't just sell you a burger, they sell you their intellectual property. And if they decide to change the formula, increase the price, or restrict who can sell it, you have no alternative source for that exact product. This is happening across the entire alternative protein landscape. In March 2022, the FDA granted approval to Upside Foods for lab-grown chicken. By December of that year, they had secured over $400 million in funding with investors including Bill Gates, Richard Branson, and meat industry giant Cargill. See the pattern? The very companies that dominated traditional meat processing are now positioning themselves to control the synthetic alternatives. But that's just the food itself. The control system extends much further. In August 2021, the Biden administration announced new initiatives to pay farmers for carbon credits generated through climate-smart farming practices. Sounds beneficial, right? Look closer at who S designing the measurement systems, who S creating the marketplace, and who ultimately profits. A company called Nori has created what they call the world's first carbon removal marketplace. Their system allows farmers to sell carbon credits directly to buyers. But to participate, farmers must use Nori's proprietary measurement systems and comply with their standards. Who funds Nori? Their investors include Placeholder, a venture firm with deep ties to cryptocurrency and digital identity systems. This is where it gets truly concerning. The same financial interests creating these carbon markets are simultaneously investing in digital identity systems that will eventually link your personal carbon footprint to your purchasing power. The World Economic Forum. Its own white papers outline.
So the same people, that's coming up with, all right, this alternative protein, okay, the madness, dealing with the food, and, then he's destroying all alternatives. Okay, so he's the only one, the government is the only one that can supply food. Okay, and we're going to get that also in Genesis dealing with Joseph. Okay, but what this devil is doing, he's destroying the natural way. See, he wants to destroy the natural way of everything, man. This new world order would be absolutely horrific. Okay, if this was able to be established in the new way of society, it would be absolutely horrific. Okay, because he wants to destroy the natural way of doing everything. See, this devil, as the scriptures say, the Lord will be at war with Amalek from generation to generation. And see, this devil is declaring war, okay, on he is. Because everything in Genesis, the first 2 chapters, was created and it was pleasing to the Elohim, which was pleasing to the Most High. Okay, but this devil, he's going through the earth and just undoing creation. You see, when we tell you that this nigga has to be stopped, okay, it's bigger than food stamps not going out, all right, for Thanksgiving. That's not the pinnacle of this nigga wickedness, man. He's on some whole other shit, man. Okay, so let's get a few precepts, all right, and then we're gonna jump in this video too, because she's gonna sum everything up later down the line. But let's go. Let's get a few precepts, man. All right, this nigga is absolutely tripping. Okay, so let's go here to the book of Exodus 17. All right, it's Exodus 17 and 16. Okay. Exodus 17 and 16, for it said, because the Lord has sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. Okay, and Amalek is at the head of this, y'all. So you hear BlackRock and Bill Gates. All this goes back to Amalek, these banking families, okay, that run and own, okay, and mastermind, all right, the wicked agendas of the earth, man. Okay, and their way of being at war with the Most High is to redo and destroy creation. Okay, which when you go through the scriptures, all right, let's get a few precepts here. Let's go to the Apocrypha. When you go to, okay, the book of Sirach, chapter 42. Okay, and everything, and the more we tap into nature, the more we realize how wicked this nigga is, man. Nature is already set up to run itself. It just has to be managed, okay, in righteousness, man. Okay, and then all this devil does is interfere with what's already set up. Okay, that's all this devil does, man. Okay, the reason why you have a gender war today with men and women have these stupid ass arguments. Okay, these stupid ass talking points. Okay, is because this nigga interfered, all right, in what the Lord already has set up. It is not good for man to be alone. Okay? The Most High, hey, that was already established through the Elohim. Okay? In the beginning. You see, the Most High established that in the beginning. Okay? So he made what? Adam a help me. You see? Which they also shows, because they argue about gender roles. Well, that's the gender role. You know, that's another topic. Okay, but just shows you that these things are already, everything is set up from the beginning. Okay, that's why you read this in the book of Sirach 42, all right, in 21, it says, he have garnished, all right, the excellent works, okay, of his wisdom, all right, and he is from everlasting to everlasting. Unto him may nothing be added, neither can be diminished, and he have no need of any counselor. Okay, but when Esau starts to tamper with things, he's putting himself in a position as if he's counseling the Most High on how creation should be, what a man should be, what a woman should be. Okay, this nigga is bold, man. All right, watch people say, travel not with a bold fellow. Okay, because he'll get you and him into some shit, and everyone that's following Esau Edom and trusting this system. Okay, you're trusting in the man that's waging war. Okay, against the Most High. Okay, and creation itself, man. Okay, and we come to a time where the Most High, he's finna get on the offensive, man. Okay, and eradicate this man and everything that he set up. Okay, so let's go back. All right, play a little more, and then we're gonna jump on Ratazar. Goddamn devil, man.
Line a future where individuals have personal carbon allowances that limit what they can buy based on the climate impact. Think about what this means when applied to food. In this system, meat becomes a luxury that counts heavily against your carbon budget. The same people restricting your access to traditional protein sources are the ones selling you the patented alternatives. And it's not just about what you eat, it's about who gets to farm it all. In 2022, the Dutch government announced plans to slash nitrogen emissions by 50% by 2030, which would require eliminating about 30% of the country's livestock. Dutch farmers who operate some of the most efficient farms in the world took to the streets in protest. Why target them implement globally? Regions where Dutch farms were being forced to close. Bill Gates-backed company Memphis Meats, now Upside Foods, was expanding its European operations for lab-grown meat production. This isn't a coincidence, it is market clearing. Now let us connect this to what is happening domestically.
So I want to jump and sum it up. I got another video. I think she gets to sum this thing up around about here. Let's let me play here.
Climate regulations make traditional foods prohibitively expensive. Your choice to eat differently becomes meaningless if you can afford it. But the control goes even deeper. The next phase involves linking food purchases to digital identity and central bank digital currencies, CBDCs. China is already pioneering this system, where citizens have social credit scores that can restrict their purchasing options. The infrastructure for similar systems is being built in Western countries under the guise of climate responsibility and health monitoring. In August 2022, MasterCard launched a program that tracks the carbon footprint of your purchases and can automatically cut off your spending when you reach certain thresholds. They are partnering with various banks to integrate this into everyday credit cards. The technology exists right now to limit your meat purchases based on your weekly carbon budget.
The technology exists right now. Okay, and what's going to link you to this system? The C-HIP. Okay, they got these trial runs going on in China, Netherlands, and what's that, Switzerland and Sweden, where people have RFID technology in them already. Social credit, all right, systems are already up and running. Digital ID systems are already up and running. Okay, carbon forms and all these things are already in live motion. He's testing out in different regions. Okay, what he wants to do globally. Okay, and this is after the depopulation. So he's going to push unrest. Okay, he's going to push, a purge atmosphere and, war and all these different things. Okay, because he wants to get rid of many people as possible. Okay, he doesn't want to bring billions into this system. He wants to bring hundreds of millions. All right, going into the Georgia Guidestones. Okay, so let's play some more.
And here is the truly disturbing part. The same companies building these restriction systems are invested in the alternatives they'll steer you toward when traditional options are unavailable or unaffordable. This is why Whitney Webb's warning about food being weaponized isn't hyperbole. It's a precise description of what's happening. Food is becoming a mechanism of control, a tool for social engineering, and a weapon against independence. Think I am exaggerating? Look at Sri Lanka. In 2021, their government mandated a nationwide transition to organic farming without proper infrastructure or transition period. The result? Food production collapsed by 40%, inflation soared to 30%, and the country descended into chaos. This wasn't just bad policy, it was a real-world test case of how quickly food systems can be weaponized to destabilize an entire nation. The playbook is clear. Create problems in the food supply through policy decisions, offer proprietary solutions owned by corporate interests, and use the crisis to restructure the system in ways that centralize control. So what can you do about this? First, understand that this isn't inevitable. These systems require your participation. They require farmers to adopt their technology, consumers to accept their products, and citizens to comply with their regulations. Support local farmers directly. Build.
See, they ain't, that's not going to be a solution to what these devils got going on. See, and there's a thing, these certain, whistleblowers and truthers, they have information of what's happening, but then when it comes to the solution, they go way left because, that's like trying to shovel, an avalanche with a plastic fork. Okay, the solution that they, try to present. No, this devil, all right, our Shah has to come wage war on this devil. Okay, and take this whole system down. Okay, collapse everything. That's the solution. Okay, so let's go from there. I got another video I want to get. Let's play this one. First few minutes of this one. All right, and they always, when Jacob, the nigga woman cut up on TikTok, the usual suspects, niggas fight on the cruise and the usual suspects. Okay, but then when it gets to destroying the global food supply, okay, destroying nature, well, it's always the usual suspects. All right, this guy killed Gates and the crew. Okay, so let's play this.
Well, Bill Gates wants to give cows vaccines to produce less methane, and he's framing this as his new moderate take on climate change. So remember when Bill Gates warned that climate change would be humanity's greatest threat, the hardest challenge we'll ever face as human beings, he said. Well, he doesn't believe that anymore, he says, after scaring the crap out of people and the media letting him do it unchecked. Now he's here to say this on his personal blog. This is the title. He calls it 3 Truths. The truths he's about to drop on us are things that serious climate researchers have been saying for years, and he has spent money to bury in the media. But okay, he's come around. It's not catastrophe anymore. You don't have to have climate anxiety. You'll see why he's doing this in a minute, but I'm going to spoil it for you. He wants to sell livestock vaccines and additives to their food in order to get you to eat meat again because he can make money off of it. Here's truth number 1. He says climate change is a serious problem, but will not be the end of civilization. You guys, calm down. That's not what he was saying just 4 years ago. Remember this 60 Minutes piece? I can't play it for you because 60 Minutes always gives us a copyright strike. But what he told Anderson Cooper was that this will be the toughest challenge humanity has ever faced. Absolutely. He said he told Anderson Cooper he wanted to change everything in the physical world. So they sat in a hamburger shop and he was like, yeah, I'm going to change the way your food is served, the way the furniture is, the way we water plants, the way we use tractors. Like literally, I want to change everything. See here, I'm here laughing like, yeah, I want everything. I want to take everything you know and love and change everything for climate change. That's literally what he said.
And that's the that's the point I wanted to get with that. You know, this goddamn devil. Okay. But yeah, this man said he wants to change everything in the physical world, and that's a direct shot at the Most High. You know, he's saying, look, I'm gonna change your creation, all right, and modify it the way I want it. Okay, this is what the devil is saying. So let's go here, go back. And I want to get this in the Apocrypha, back in the book of Sirach, 42. So let's go back to the book. Let's go back to this. Okay. And he's running the playbook, you know, that we see in the book of Genesis, but he's doing it in he's doing it in wickedness. You see, in Genesis, there was a natural famine that happened. Okay, and Egypt, you know, was able to come up and become a superpower. Okay, but those things happened, you know, naturally. It wasn't, you know, planned out by, okay, the rulers of Egypt. You know, the Most High used that to glorify, you know, well, he used Joseph. Okay, Joseph was used to give glory to the Most High. Okay, concerning wisdom. You see, you know, Joseph was able to interpret dreams, and you know, Joseph was what they would be considered a statesman. You know, he knew how to run an empire. Okay, and he gave glory to what the God that he served, that he was faithful to. Okay, so you go to the book of Sirach 42 and 21. It said the orderly world shows the greatness of his wisdom. He is the same forever and ever. Okay, so the order that the when you look at the earth and this natural order, that's why when you start getting into what this do and what that do, the benefit of this, the benefit of that, you know, just you get to looking into these things, and this it's just a showcase of the Lord's greatness. You like, man, the Most High had this thing figured out from the beginning. You see, when you just see how, you know, the order of particular things, you get into the herbs and the animals and what they do, and you know, it says nothing can be added to him and nothing taken away. All right, he needs no one to give him advice. But these devils are boasting. Okay, as if the Most High needs advice, as if the Most High is incompetent, man. Okay, this is what these devils are saying. It said all his works are beautiful down to the smallest and faintest spark of light. All things go on forever, and all of them have their purpose. All of them are in pairs, each the opposite of the other, but nothing the Lord made is incomplete. Everything completes the goodness of something else. Could anyone ever see enough of this splendor? Okay, and I can't wait till this devil is removed and we able to really tap into the earth. Man. That's one of the things I'm looking, you know, forward to, you know, just seeing the earth in the glory that the Lord intended it to be in, man. You know, and it's going to take rightful rulers, okay, for that to take place. You see, because right now, that's why Scripture says he's going to destroy them that destroy the earth, you know. And this devil loves to present as if he's bringing you into this utopia to some type of paradise. Nah, man. Okay, let's go here. Let's get this in dealing with what happened. All right, in ancient Egypt. Let's get this in the LT. Okay, so you know you have the famine, all right, in ancient Egypt. Okay, but Joseph, you know, had the dream. Well, Joseph interpreted the dream of Pharaoh about 7 years of famine and 7 years of plenty. Okay, so in the years of plenty, all right, he instructed Pharaoh, to fill Egypt's storehouses, their granaries. Okay, so when you go here, all right, to Genesis 47 and 13, all right, so Egypt was the only place, okay, that had, surplus food. Okay, it says there was a bargaining tool, there was leverage on earth, on the earth's resource. Everything flowed to Egypt because, okay, they became the sole provider of food in the land. Okay, and Esau Edom, he wants this same system, but he wants to manufacture the famine, and he wants, all right, to own everything in wickedness, man. Okay, because Joseph set up a fair system, after the famine was said and done. He set a fair system up, okay, that benefited, the government of Egypt and the people. Okay, this is Genesis 47 and 13 said, meanwhile, the famine became so severe that all the food was used up and people were starving throughout the lands of Egypt and Canaan. By selling grain to the people, Joseph eventually collected all the money in Egypt and Canaan, and he put the money in Pharaoh's treasury. And this is why also with the government shut down too, you know, people missing a month's worth of salary. What do they have to do, especially during the time of these holidays? Well, people are having to tap into what their savings. Okay, and this people, Esau, he wants people to drain their savings. This is what he wants. You see, he wants people to drain their savings. Okay, so he can have more leverage. Okay, in this verse 15 it says, um, 14 again said, by selling the grain to the people, Joseph eventually collected all the money in Egypt and Canaan, and he put the money in Pharaoh's treasury. When the people of Egypt and Canaan ran out of money, all the Egyptians came to Joseph. Our money is gone, they cried. But please give us food or we will die, all right, before your very eyes. Joseph replied, since your money is gone, bring me your livestock. I will give you food in exchange for livestock. So they brought their livestock to Joseph, okay, for food in exchange for their horses, flocks, and sheep and goats, herds of cattle and donkeys. All right, Joseph provided them with food for another year. But the year ended, and the next year, all right, and the next year they came again and said, we cannot hide the truth from you, my Lord. Our money is gone, and all our livestock and cattle are yours. We have nothing left, all right, but our bodies and land. Okay, and this is what these devils want. You mainly your bodies, okay, the land as well, right? Because they want to take away all private ownership, okay. But you have the thing called what, the Internet of Bodies. They want to merge your bodies with technology, okay, for more control. It says, why should we die before your very eyes? Buy us and our land in exchange for food. We offer our land and ourselves as slaves for Pharaoh. Just give us grain so we may live and not die. And so the land does not become empty and desolate. Okay, so this is what, all right, Esau wants. He wants this scenario. He wants to have this type of leverage, okay, on the masses, man. Okay, he wants people to volunteer themselves into the digital slavery. Okay, this is what he's pushing for, and that's why you have here, all right, and you hear this, thrown around, amongst, the brothers and certain alternative news. But remember this quote from your guy, all right, Klaus Schwab, and it says, the phrase "you won't own nothing and be happy" originated from a 2016 essay published by the World Economic Forum, The Wealth, about a future based on a sharing economy. See, they know how to throw these terms together and romanticize these things as if these things are not diabolical and tyrannical, man. Okay, and ultimately wicked. All right, it has since become a subject of controversy with some viewing it as a dystopian prediction of a future world where a global elite owns everything, while the original essay framed it as a utopian vision where people rely on services rather than ownership. The wealth and others have promoted, the idea. You see, and they're gonna present this thing as utopian when it's dystopian, man. Okay, look into those words. All right, but he's gonna present it as all right, you know, utopian. This nigga's finna tell you, look, that sharing services is better than ownership. Okay, it says the wealth and others have promoted the idea of the future, uh, where access to goods and services is more important than owning them. Well, wait a minute. If I own things, I have complete access to goods and services. What are you saying? Okay. But he has dumbed people down so much, and he's finna put them in a position of desperation and fear where their rational thinking is going to completely be shut down. And this is going to sound great to people, man. Okay, you gotta listen to what these devils are saying, man. The Lord has us in the light, man, where we can see this nigga like, nigga, that don't make sense. Listen to what this nigga is saying. The WEF and others have promoted the idea of a future where access to goods and services is more important than owning them. Nigga, if I own them, I got access to them. What sense does this make, man? Okay, and this is what this nigga finna present to the world. Okay, madness, man. You see, let's go. Let's just end it here, man, and let's get this nigga here, man. This y'all uncle, man. This nigga trip. This is Revelation 11, okay, in 18. KJV. So there's the book of Revelation, chapter 11, and verse 18. It says, "And the nations were angry, and thy wrath is come, in the time of the dead that they shall be judged, that thou shouldst give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and them that fear thy name, small and great, and shouldst destroy them which destroy the earth," man. So the Lord's going to judge these nations, these heathens that have followed, this clown, okay, and have went, with this bold fellow, okay, on this crash mission, okay, and he's finna get their ass, destroyed, judged, all authority and power stripped, and he's finna give reward to the servants of prophets, which they represent the first fruits, okay, and to the saints and them that fear thy name, small and great, the rest of the 1/3, men, women, and children, is going to be blessed forever, under the righteous government, okay, that's coming to the earth, man. It says, "And should destroy them which destroy the earth," which is you goddamn devils, man, you Edomites. Okay, so this is where we at with it, man. So just wanted to go into that this morning. Lord will, you brothers, and you sisters were edified once again. I want to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to which younger brothers. And peace